John, you get to start.
Jack, what kind of led into your decision to come back this year? Was it ever a question? And what's it going to be like now that the season's right around the corner?
It was definitely a question. I kind of had the same decision my senior year coming back, and kind of got talked into it by some of my good friends who were on the team last year. And then last year during the season, Coach Gandossi did some of his magical recruiting and some of the guys on the team as well. And ultimately, I decided I'd much rather be playing baseball than working a desk job right about now. That can wait. So that's just about all that went into it.
How much did the way last year ended influence your decision? How much were you hungry to get back?
I decided before the ending of the season, probably in like mid-March is when I decided I would come back. But that's definitely been a big motivator this offseason, the way last season ended. Obviously, none of us are happy with that, and it's been our motivation pretty much every day we come out here.
Is it kind of just an unspoken thing, or is there something that you guys are like actively doing to kind of fan that?
We definitely talk about it quite a bit. It's no secret that we kind of collapsed towards the end of last year in conference at least, and it's something that we've learned a great deal from, and we're going to make sure it never happens again.
There were some flashes in the pan where the team looked really good, and then there were also games where it just all fell apart. How do you get the consistency back this year?
First of all, it starts in practice, and I think last year we kind of had some inconsistent practices. One day it'd be really good, one day it'd be really bad. So we're just working on coming out here every single day, getting ready to work and have some clean practices, and I think that kind of translates to games as well.
Jack, you obviously haven't stepped onto the diamond with these guys yet, but when you just kind of evaluate this group, what you guys added over the offseason, what's your initial feel for this team?
The guys are fired up, man. We got some competitors on this team. It's really fun to be a part of. Last weekend we did some live ABs, and there was a lot of flapping gums between the pitchers and position players, and I'm sure it's going to be even more today. But yeah, I'd say the competitiveness of this group is something to really look out for.
What'd you see out of Duke in the live ABs?
What's that?
Or
Duke Coburn.
Yeah.
Duke?
Yep.
He threw on the day that I didn't hit, so one group hit on Saturday and the other group hit on Sunday. Duke looked pretty good though. He's got some arm side run on his fastball now. I think they switched that up from the fall, and he's definitely got to look out for.
Anything further for Jack, guys?
How much are these first few weeks away from home important for building the team, building the cohesion?
Yeah, it's definitely huge. Those first few weeks you're on the road together. You learn a lot about each other, and I mean the transfer portal. It's definitely making college baseball a little different. That half your team's new guys every single year, and I think we've done a good job through the fall and this early part of the spring to get the guys to know each other pretty well. But those first few weeks on the road definitely play a big role in it as well.
We'll go with Corey, if you want to begin with the first question.
Dom, how do you build off your personal success last year and then turn around some of the inconsistencies that came out?
Yeah, personally last year got off to a good start, then kind of struggled for a little bit, but ended on a high note in my last outing of the year. So I kind of want to take that momentum into this year. It was versus UConn, and they're the preseason favorite in the league, so that's some good momentum to bring into this year. And then overall as a staff, we have some good vibes going right now. We should be a lot deeper as a staff, and hitting too as well. We are pretty deep, so I think vibes are good right now, and we're excited to get the season underway.
You kind of mentioned some of the guys on the staff, some of the guys you brought in from the portal. What have you noticed from them so far?
Both the portal, and we have a lot of really good young guys, so the combination of that, I think our staff will be really deep. And kind of last year we had some stretches where maybe there was some weekends or some midweek games where we kind of felt maybe our staff wasn't so deep, but this year we should be really deep. So I think that'll be a good addition to our team with the portal and some really strong young arms in the freshman class. So
last year kind of felt like the bullpen was your strength. Do you feel that's flipped on its head this year, or do you still think your strength is coming out of that?
As like our staff, or yeah, I think this year we might be even deeper than last year coming out of the bullpen. Maybe not as much experience coming back. We have some young guys in the freshman class, like I just mentioned, and then some freshmen like Mason Cook last year who are going to take that next big step this year to be more of a shutdown guy out of the pen. And I think we are going to be very deep in the pen. And yeah, I think last year was a strength at times, and this year especially, it should be a strength of ours.
Jack said there's been some flapping of gums between the pitching staff and the hitters so far this season. What kind of a competitive nature and what kind of a mindset have you guys brought to the practices before you guys take the field for real?
Yeah, so days like today, we got black versus gray scrimmage. That just brings the competitive nature way up. It's really nice to be outside. A couple weeks ago when it was -20, we didn't think we'd have this opportunity. So yeah, we got a nice sunny 50-degree day, and we're ready here to compete, both hitters versus pitchers, and then black team versus gray team. So yeah, this competitiveness can't be matched indoors, so it's nice that we're outside.
Yeah, so back here out on the diamond, what's the mindset and what are you guys hoping to carry with you before the season starts up?
Yeah, I think we're just trying to, like Don was saying earlier, we just want to get out here and compete. It's a beautiful day. We're not used to this in Omaha, so, getting a chance to get outside and see some live pitching and kind of help build confidence before the first weekend is kind of what we're looking for.
What have you seen out of Dom in terms of maybe difference between last year and this and any kind of growth that you've seen from him?
I think he's been a lot more consistent in the zone. He's still carrying his velo well and, just filling up the zone, getting more swing and miss. He's looking really solid heading into the season.
Have you seen the cutter yet?
I have, yeah. He's got some good pitches already, so if he's able to kind of build on those, I think he's looking to have a really good season.
I looked at you guys behind the plate. What have you seen from some of the new pitchers that the team's brought in?
Yeah, we got some really good young guys, and Shea Went and a couple sophomores like Mason Cook and Shane Creighton, kind of making the jump this year, building more confidence this off season, and ready to toe the rubber in the spring.
We're told there's quite a little bit of competition going on in the smack talk between pitchers and hitters already. Where do you feel you fall on that side of it?
Yeah, as a catcher, I kind of got to meet him in the middle. I suppose today I'll have my team and kind of cheer on my pitchers, but also work, cheer on the hitters that I'm a part of as well. So, and as we get deeper into practice, the teams will switch, and so you kind of get the best of both worlds there.
How big of an impact is having Jack back and having him in the lineup again make for you guys?
Yeah, he's a great leader. He has a ton of experience. He's very vocal, and he's really good at getting the guys together and just building that team camaraderie that that chemistry that we really need to last the whole season.
After the all-conference selection this year, have you felt some of the guys looking up to you? Have you felt you needed to step up as a leader?
Yeah, we have a younger backup catchers, and so I feel like with two freshmen and a sophomore kind of under my wing, I've had to step up and really help them develop as they're growing in their own way. So,
All feel the same going in, or does it each team, each new season feel different to you?
I tell you, at this time of year, it always feels good, especially when we can get outside. These are bonus days for us. We're not accustomed to getting outside at this time of year, so it feels good. We're 2 weeks away. I think the players are starting to get a little excited too. Today we'll have a chance to scrimmage, which we normally don't get an opportunity to do. So there's a lot of reasons to be excited. So, but we got a different club, so we're trying to find out as much information as we can before the season starts in 2 weeks.
Can you talk about how tough that is when you have to navigate high school recruiting, the transfer portal, and trying to re-recruit your own guys? How tough is it from a year-to-year basis to just kind of get ready and navigate all that in the offseason?
Well, I can tell you this much, it's not easy, that's for sure. And you try to figure out your team. And we're fortunate in baseball to have the fall to kind of get a little bit acclimated to your team. But here we sit today, 2 weeks out, and I still don't have a real good feel for it. You really got to play games before you can get a lot of those questions answered. I like our club in many ways, but we're going to find out more, a little bit more today with our scrimmage, but a lot more in a couple of weeks when we start playing outside competition.
Jack had mentioned, that he felt the way that everybody practiced last year that versus this year that he wants to emphasize consistency. Does it feel like you have like an additional, coach on the staff and somebody leading the way like that with Jack?
Well, it's certainly nice to have Jack, being a part of the program for 6 years. He could probably write the practice plan many days. He's been through all the drills multiple times, obviously, and And he's a leader in the fact that he does it by example. You know, Jack's not going to say a whole lot, but he's got really good work ethic, and he understands the importance of practice. And I've always tried to emphasize, especially as a northern school, that you have to get better, you know, day by day, week by week. And I think Jack understands that probably as well as anybody else on the team. So it's nice because he goes about his business the way I'd like to see all of our players go about their business.
Coach, Jack also mentioned that he wasn't completely set on coming back, and you guys spoke, and I believe he said you imparted some of your magic on him. What was that conversation like, and what did you say to him?
Well, that's the hard thing about baseball is, you know, you're in season last year, and you're trying to play that season. At the same time, you're looking forward to next year's roster, who's coming, who's going, and with this COVID situation, there's so many more questions about whether a player is going to play that final year that he has. So we brought Jack in, I would say, towards the end of the season last year, and he was hesitant initially as to what he was going to do. You know, most of these players want to go out and make some money, you know, and I don't blame him for that. But I just said, hey, Jack, you know, I think you got 40 years of your life to work. You'll have one more opportunity to play college baseball. And I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's between you and your family, but we'd love to have you back. I think you'll enjoy it. You can not only, you know, be a part of it from a physical standpoint, but you can also be a part in helping the younger players get acclimated to the program. So within a couple days, he decided he was coming back, and we're certainly happy he did.
You did mention this beats a desk job.
What do you think this team needs to do to make it back to the Big East tournament, back to the NCAA tournament maybe?
Well, we got to play a little bit more consistent. You know, at times last year we were very good. At times we weren't as good as we needed to be. And we need to get better. We need to improve. And we think we brought a lot of competition with some of the new players that came into the program. There's more competition on this year's team than any I can remember in the last several years. So competition sometimes is not what a player wants in practice. They want a kind of given, you know, a position and an opportunity. As coaches, we want competition in practice. It makes us better. This year's team is going to have a lot of competition.
Was there one area you wanted to see the roster improve over the offseason, and did you get that addressed?
You know, probably not one, but our overall depth. We just didn't have it last year. We came across some injuries, and every team does. That's not an excuse. And we weren't able to adjust to those injuries very well. So we set out to create some depth, not only in our pitching staff, but in our position players, and we certainly have that. So it's not going to be easy to decide the lineups from day to day. It's not going to be easy to decide who travels the first weekend, because the parity on the team is there. So I hope today with the scrimmage, we're going to scrimmage again on Sunday, that we start to see some separation between the players. But right now, there's not a lot of that. It's kind of good as a coaching staff, not so good if you're a player.
Coach, obviously your ballpark is one of the biggest in college ball. How much do you coach to Charles Schwab, and how much do you say, okay, we still need to be good when we travel to some of the smaller parks?
Well, sure. Our philosophy's always been very conducive to that ballpark. We put a heavy emphasis on defense. We put a heavy emphasis on when we're offensively trying to move runners, trying to be creative. I think in that ballpark you have to, because you're just not going to hit a lot of home runs over there. So we didn't have it wasn't a big transition when we left the on-campus field to go to the stadium, because that's just how we play. And I think the players have adjusted very well to it, and we're looking forward to getting over there. We weren't able to get over there this fall, so we're looking forward to getting over there, hopefully if the weather holds, within the next couple of weeks.